to very important library in Python called NumPy. NumPy stands for numerical Python. It is mainly used for working with numbers, especially when we are dealing with large amount of data. Okay, before NumPy we were using normal Python variables and lists, but NumPy makes calculation faster, easier, and more efficient. Now, we might thinking, why do we need NumPy when we already have lists? The simple reason is Python lists are slow for numerical operations. NumPy provides powerful tools for mathematical and scientific calculations. NumPy is the base for libraries like pandas and machine learning. So if you want to go into data science or AI, NumPy is compulsory. Okay, first of all, before using NumPy, we must import it. Then, now, how can we import it? It's simple. Import NumPy is NP. Here, NumPy is the library name and NP is just short name used for convenience. Okay, using NP saves time while coding. Okay, it saves time. Now, the most important concept in NumPy is the array. A NumPy array is similar to a list, but it is faster and more powerful. Let me create simple NumPy array. Okay, all right. Now listen carefully. Creating a NumPy array is not the same as creating a normal Python list. In normal list, we just use square brackets, but in NumPy, we must use a special function called array. Now, I am going to create an array. First of all, I am going to create an object, and then we must use p dot array function, and then on inside it we must pass a list or tuple. Now I am going to pass a list called 1 comma 2 comma 3 or 4 and 4. Then I am going to print it. Print here. And now if I run this, now we can see it's a one-dimensional array. This step is important because NumPy needs to convert data into a fixed data type. NumPy stores data type in a continuous memory. This is why NumPy array are faster than lists. Our normal list doesn't do this. So, okay. Now, the most important thing is all the elements should be the same data type. If we do any operation to the array, then operations are applied to all the elements at once. Like for example, now I am going to add 2 on it. Now print array plus 2 and then run it. Now we can see the result 3, 4, 5 and 6. Here Python adds to every element in the array automatically. This is not possible directly with a normal list. Now let's check the type of our array. Oh, sorry. Now we are going to check the type of our array. For this, we should just write print type and then array. Now, if I do this, then it's now here a n-dimensional array, numpy that n-dimensional array. It's an array. Okay. Now, let's talk about something very important and special in NumPy, the 2D array. A 2D NumPy array is mainly used to represent rows and columns, just like a table or matrix. Now, how 2D array is created? To create a 2D array, we use nested lists inside np.array. That means one list represents one row and multiple lists together create rows and columns. Let me show you. Now I'm going to create a 2D array sorry 2D equals to np dot array, and then inside it our first list is 1 2 and 3, and then second. Now I'm going to print it. Print 2D. Now if I run this program, then we can see our 2D array has been created. Here 1 2 3 2 3 and 4. Now what we should remember is, if we want to create multi-dimensional array, then number of column should be same. If I remove this 4, then you can see here is a problem, an error has been occurred. Now this now in this way we can create a 2D array. Now oh sorry, now I have been shifted toward Visual Studio Code because it's a little bit clearer than ideally. Now we are going to talking about 3D array. All right. Now we are moving to the next level in NumPy, which is 3D array. A 3D array may should complete it, but it is just an extension of 2D array. If a 2D array is rows and columns, then a 3D array is multiple 2D arrays stacked together. To create 3D NumPy array, we just use multiple 2D arrays inside np.array. For example, array sorry 3D equals to np dot array, and then 1 4 and 7. Okay, and now I structured my code in a such a way that it seems like clear. uh, Now we have two blocks. Here we can see, and each block is 2D array, and each 2D array has 2 rows and 3 columns. That's why this becomes 3D array. Now we are going to print the shape of this array. For this first shape, we just use print. First of all, we should write name of the array, and then that shape. This is the syntax to print shape of an array. Now when I save and run this program, then here we can see 2 comma 2 comma 3. It means uh, two blocks. First two represents the blocks, and then second two represents number of rows, and then third element represents number of columns. Now the shape of this array is 2 comma 2 comma 3. Now let's understand one most important property of NumPy arrays. uh, okay, let's start. Number of dimensions. Now how can we print the number of dimensions it has? For this we just write print and name of the array and then dot and dim and dim and save this. And when I run this program, okay, here when I run this program, we can clearly see that 3. Then it means ARR 3D has 3 dimensions. In the same way, if I print uh, ARR dot and dim and save this, and if I run this, okay, now here we can clearly see that um, array ARR has 1 dimension. Now here, in this way, we can print number of dimensions of any array. Now again, we are going to discuss about another most important property of NumPy arrays, which is the size. And size tells us the total number of elements in the array. Now for this, we just use print name of array, okay, 3 and then dot size. Now if I save this program and if I run this program, okay, now here we can see 12. It means our 3D array consists total 12 elements. Here we can see it consists total 12 elements. And then now again, if I print ARR to the dot size, and then if I run this program, now we can see that here we can see 12 and 6. It means the size of our ARR 3D array is 12 and ARR 2D arrays is 6. That's it. Let's start another property of NumPy array, which is item size, and this shows how many bytes each element occupies in memory. NumPy is a memory percent, which is why it is fast. We can do this just by using print array name and item size. If I run this program now, okay, if I run this program, here we can see 8, which means each element of ARR2D occupies 8 bytes. Okay, now if we want to know the total memory occupied by an array, then we just use n bytes. This gives total memory used by the array. It's calculate as size into item size. For example, print arr d dot n bytes. If I run this program, then we can see that 96. It means that the total memory occupied by ARR 3D array is 96 bytes. Alright, now let's talk about the type in NumPy. The type stands for data type. It tells us what type of data is stored inside NumPy array. In NumPy, all elements in an array must be of one single data type. For checking the data type, first let's see how to check the data type of an array. For this, I am going to create another array like d is equals to np dot array, and then I'm going to create here from and hurry. Now print for printing data type, we just use arr 3d dot d type, and for arrd print array name and dot d type. Now if I run this program, here we can see integer and UFO, which means string. Now here the data type of arr3d is an integer, and data type of arrd is UFO, which means string. Simple. Okay. Okay, finally in this video we learned about how to create an array by using NumPy, and also we studied about some important properties of NumPy arrays, and where we learned about ndim, which tells us how many dimensions the array has, and shape, which tells us how data is arranged, and size tells us the total number of elements, and dtype, which tells us data type of the array, and item size, which tells us memory used by one element, and finally we learned about uh, n bytes, which tells us total memory used by an array. Now today's class has been finished. Thank you.